Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video we're gonna do 3 different looks with this palette right here, and this is the palette. So this is the Gimme Butterflies palette by ColourPop. This is one of 3 palettes that they came out with that are ULTA exclusives. So yeah, I mean, let's just go ahead and get into it. I'll be doing this look and 2 other looks. So if you'd like to see this one and the other 2, go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, so this is what we're going with. Basically kind of like a soft halo eye without doing any concealer or anything like that. I actually don't do halo eyes ever, so if I'm doing it wrong, bear with me. Okay, so we're gonna start with this Bloomin' shade. And similar to how you would do a cut crease, you're really just packing on the color and then kind of worry about blending it out later. So it is going to look very, you know, I don't even have words for it. Just, that's how it's going to look. So, of course, we're going to blend it out and it'll look just fine. I will say, I definitely wasn't sure what I was doing for this first look. And, you know, I tried it over again a couple times, and I originally was starting on this eye. I have so much glitter on my face from starting the look and then taking the makeup off and then starting it again. I am just completely like, there's glitter everywhere. And there's glitter in this shade too, so it's definitely not a full matte, which is kind of like, I don't know. It's fine, but for it being like your darkest shade, you're just gonna have glitter everywhere if you use this shade. So if you wanna use this shade to like deepen up the look, it's still gonna be very, very sparkly. It sounded like, okay, so I tried to say sparkly with like, you know, a bunch of A's in it, like sparkly. When I just said sparkly though, it literally sounded like I was saying sparkly. Like sparkly. I always say that and then I have like nothing else to follow up with it and I'm just like completely silent. Basically like crickets were chirping. Okay, and then you want to take this shade and go in the inner corner a little bit. And then personally I feel like it does, just doing an eye like this, it does take a little bit of patience in building up the color and then blending everything out. Alright, so I'm just going to continue to kind of deepen everything up. I'm probably just going to cut it out just because it's going to be a lot of footage. So you're just going to keep building it up until you're comfortable with it, and then I will start blending out the edges with a different color. And I always talk. Like, if I have something in my hand, I play with it while I'm talking. So yeah, I'm just going to build this up and then I'll come back and show you guys how I'm going to blend it out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start blending out the edges of everything with this Labyrinth shade. So if I need to go into that later, I will. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of glitter primer and just pat it in the middle. I need a little tiny bit more. So you're going to bring it up kind of like past your crease. Bring it in a little tiny bit to the inner corner, but not all the way. Same thing on the edge. You'll bring it out a little bit, but not all the way because you're mainly focusing everything in the middle. And then I'm going to take this wing shade, so it's this one right here. I don't know what kind of shadow this is, and I know I said that in the other video. It's not a super shock. What is it? So taking that with my finger, tapping it on to all of those areas that we just applied the glitter primer. In this shade, blends out really pretty. Like, it's kind of flaky. There's just a lot of pigment in it, but I can show you guys in the back of my hand. So like my finger, look at the product's kind of chunky. I don't know how well you guys can see because the camera's not adjusting. There we go. And you can kind of see on my hand that it's a little chunky on there as well. But you can buff it out. And when you buff it out, it looks really pretty. So, like, really pretty. It actually reminds me of a shade from Melt, I think. And I might have mentioned that before already. But it's really pretty. Okay, so just taking it on my finger, patting it in. Doesn't need to really be perfect. And then from there, we're just going to take the brush that we used earlier with that darker shade. Kind of blend out that shade a little bit. Mainly focusing it in the middle of the eye. And then when I did the other eye, I did take the shadow on a brush eventually. So we'll do that as well. So wherever that brush is that I used, literally the story of my life. Okay. So just packing a little bit more on with a brush and then also trying to give it a little more shape in here. This shadow is really, really pretty. And with the glitter of the other shade, it kind of picks up like a, well, there might be green in here already, but it's kind of giving me like a little bit of a green hue, a greeny gold hue. Don't know what happened there, but it's picking up really bad. Oh, there's like a chunk of the shadow that doesn't seem like it blended out very well. That's really weird. Okay. Like that last time that I did a little bit more of the darker shade, it just looked like it kind of sat there and didn't really do anything. Okay, and then I ended up taking that blooming shade and then just doing this under here. Okay, and then from there, took this shade right here, Your Catch, and then did that for my inner corner, and then also took it and ran it under the brow. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off the rest of my face. I haven't decided if I'm actually going to use lashes or not. Not sure. But I'm going to finish off the rest of my face and then I'll show you guys what everything looks like. Okay, so this is the finished look. Honestly, this is like a little bit softer. Ooh, I'm about to knock everything over. This is a little bit softer than what I normally do, I feel like. I don't know, so I normally take pictures for my thumbnail after I film all this part, but I decided to do it before, and at least on the camera it just seemed very, very soft. On here it seems a lot more contrasty and like how it looks in person, but I don't know if it was just my camera or what. It's a little bit different than what I've been doing. It's not a cut crease. Shocking. Anyways, this is the finished look. Let's get you guys in a little bit closer. Okay, not bad. Not my favorite thing ever. Let's zoom you guys out so we're not super close and personal. So yeah, this is the finished first look. Not bad. I really like this winged shade. It's super pretty. It's the one in the middle. That one's really pretty. I'm actually surprised that I did a halo eye. That's like not really anything that I do very often, so may not be my best work, but not really a review, so there isn't really much to say. I've already talked about these palettes in the other video that I did. If you didn't see the video where I did use all three of them, then go ahead and check that out. I'll link it down below. Anyways, let's go ahead and just jump into the second look. Okay, so this is what's going on with this look. To be completely honest, I was going to stop doing this look. Right now I don't think it looks bad. I think with lashes it'll look okay. I don't know. I just thought it would look different and it didn't, and I was kind of halfway done with it and I was like, should I start over again? Like, you know, that I just kind of looked at it and I was like, you know, I think I can make it work. So yeah, I don't know. Overall, we'll see how everything looks once it's done, but it was kind of those ones where I was like, I don't know. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. So I started off with this shade here again. Pretty much the trend for this video is just using this shade in my crease. Might be doing that for the next video too. Anyways, starting off with this shade, since it is going to be basically a cut crease, we are doing the same thing we have been doing, so just packing the color. Focus that color in right in here and build it up, and then going to blend out the edges soon. You know, I'm not the best at these looks, but the more and more that I do them, the more I get comfortable with them and am finding out what's working for me. And yeah, I definitely have made progress from where I first started, and that's always, you know, it's a cool thing to see, like your progress and everything. I'm definitely not where I would like to be, but I wasn't where I was when I first started doing looks like this, so that's an improvement. Okay, so the shade that I'm going to use to kind of blend everything out is going to be this Labyrinth shade. So again, kind of like the other one, I'm just going to really blend out the edges, make everything look nice and smooth. I'm going to take this, just take a different brush but with that same Bloomin' shade, and just really deepen this area up even more, or try to. Okay, so from here I'm going to cut out the crease and then we'll get started on the rest of the look. Okay, so this is the finished look. I swear my hair gets bigger and messier as this video goes on. This is all filmed in the same day. In case anyone was wondering, sometimes it's not, most of the time it is, but I don't know, this hair is just getting even more and more out of hand. Dry shampoo can't help me anymore. It's just not, yeah. This is the finished look. Not too bad, not my favorite. To be honest, so far, like, I know I haven't even done the third look for this palette. It's just not as inspiring to me as the other two are. The first look in this palette was kind of pretty, I don't know, I'm just like, you know, and my hair. Yeah, I really liked A Flutter. I'm excited to use the other one, Butter Me Up. I was excited to do this video, but for some reason I'm just not as inspired by these colors as the other two. And I did mention before that this is probably my third favorite out of the three of them, just because. Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. Surprise. But this is the finished look. I'm not going to get you guys too close because I didn't do eyeliner underneath my lashes, and you can, yeah, they're just not the greatest application, but they're going to get torn off in just a second, so. Okay, so this is it. I just am obsessed with doing glitter like this now. I love it. I love it, okay? I can't help it. I love it. So this is it for the second look. Let's go ahead and get into the third and final look. Okay, so we're here to do look number 3. I'm going to tell you guys, I went ahead on this eye already. I did it on purpose just because I basically was doing a lot of the same things that I already did in my other videos, like other two looks. So basically I started out with the same shade, so that Bloomin' shade, And then from the Bloomin' shade for the blendy shade on the outside, I decided to use Labyrinth. I did that in the other two looks, so I felt like that was just going to get really repetitive. So I went ahead and did that off camera. Then I cut my crease out off camera like I always do. And then while I was doing that, I decided to use this glider shade underneath, just my my under eye area. I feel like I don't describe that correctly. Anyways, I felt like the only thing that was really different from anything that I've been doing in these last couple videos is what I'm about to do now, which isn't crazy different, but I feel like it would be a little more helpful to see this versus like showing everything that I just did all over again, because you guys literally just saw it. So I'm gonna take glitter glue, pat that down, and then I'm gonna start with this winged shade. So this next shade I'm gonna use is this one right here. And I still don't know what kind of shade shadow this is. I honestly don't really like the texture of it. Does that make sense? I feel like this is something definitely to use with your fingers, but I'm gonna do a little bit of both. Anyways, go ahead and get into it. Shade though, even though I don't really like the formula of it, is still really pretty. It's like a foily shade. Okay, so I think that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and go into Over It, wherever it is, this one right here. There we go. Taking Over It and just blending it into the edge of this a little bit more. And then from that going back into Bloomin'. Okay. And then I'm going to take Bloomin' and then just focus it back into here a little bit. Okay, and then for the inner corner highlight, I'm going to use Your Catch. So this shade here. I'm going to use it under my brow as well. Okay, so this is basically it for this look. To be completely honest, this is my favorite out of all three of them. I'm not super proud of all of the other two. And then I totally forgot to take pictures of the second one, so I need to find a screenshot that hopefully isn't awkward, cause yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna finish up this look and then I'll show you guys what everything looks like, and that'll be it for this video. Okay, so this is the third and final look. I said third, really weird. Okay, so this is the final look. Like I said earlier, this is my favorite look out of the three, I think, at least. I will say, I don't like these lashes with this look. They're just not big enough, you know? I went to Walgreens earlier today and I picked up 3 pairs of lashes. 2 of them were the same and the other ones were different. They both just aren't full enough for me. I got Ardell double wispies. I got 2 packs of those, and then I got whatever these ones are, which they're a Kiss lash, one of the Naked Drama ones. And I think these are Veil. I don't know. They're just not enough. You know, not enough. Whew. And I know I said that in a video before, but literally not enough. What does that remind me of? It kind of reminds me of when you open an umbrella, you know? You open an umbrella and it's just whew. Yeah. I want my lashes to be when I put them on my face, whew. I don't know, that's the best way to describe it. Anyways, this is the third and final look. As far as this palette goes, I do think all 3 of them are nice. They're all really pretty in their own, aspects, I guess. Is that the right? I don't know if that's what I was looking for. They're all pretty in their own, different ways. They're all different, color stories and everything. So naturally, you're gonna like one of them more than the other. But, and I already said this in the other video, color story wise, this one is my least favorite. It is still really pretty. You can't take that away from it. But while I was doing this video, I just felt just not as inspired as I was from the other palettes. And, you know, I don't know, it was just, it's a pretty palette, but there just wasn't enough for me to look at it and be like, I want to do all of this. And like, maybe it's just because I don't use these colors necessarily often enough to where it's like, yeah, I want to do this. Like, you know, like that I already know what I want to do. It's still a pretty palette, but as far as like compared to the other two, this is definitely the least interesting for me personally. And I really felt that. Like, the first video I did, I already knew that this one wasn't like my favorite, but this is the second palette that I've done a 3 looks 1 palette with, and the next one will be the Butter Me Up one, and I'm so excited to work with that one. And like this one, like I'm excited for all of these videos, but as I was working on this, I don't know, I just didn't know what to do, and I just didn't feel inspired by this color story. So I guess that's the best way to describe it. Like, I don't know, it's still a really pretty palette, and if these are your shades, then like you're going to love it, but I'm definitely a lot more drawn to the other two. I don't know, that's what it is. Anyways, if you guys liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We'll see you next time.